Welcome to the CUNY School of Professional Studies. The Nature of New York is a 3-credit course and fulfills general science requirements. In this course, we will endeavor to learn about our natural environment, how it impacts us, and how we impact the environment. My name is Dr. George Jackman. I will be your professor for this course. I am also the Habitat Restoration Manager for Riverkeeper, which is a member-supported grassroots environmental organization. I look forward to working with you all and hope you all have a great semester. In this course, we will explore the natural history of New York City and its surrounding environments. Students will receive a basic introduction into the science of ecology, which is foundational in learning about interactions between species and their environment. We will also briefly investigate our relation to the natural world and learn important topics as they relate to early cultural history of our region, climate change, invasive species, local geology, drinking water, sewage, and moving forward into the future in a sustainable way. There will be some short and relevant exercises to introduce local animal and plant species. The students will gain an understanding of key concepts in ecology, biology, and conservation through lectures, readings, and directed activities, including virtual labs. Students will also learn to recall the names and natural history of common local flora and fauna species through identification exercises and field visits. They will also describe the life cycle of common local organisms, evaluate current conservation and sustainability issues through student discussions and personal research. As mentioned, we will evaluate current conservation and sustainability issues through discussions and research. Term paper is required with this course, and your instructor will help guide you during all parts of this course. If you experience any difficulty, contact your instructor immediately via email or telephone. Personal appointments can be arranged. These are some of our common organisms, some of which you know or will come to know. We have an opossum, which is the only marsupial found in North America. The red-tailed hawk, which is commonly seen soaring over much of the greener landscapes of New York City, often looking to catch squirrels or other birds for meals. Then we have a skunk, which you often smell, but did you know that its black and white coloring is what we call aposematic coloration, which means it presents a warning much like bees that have a black and yellow coloration. The gentle white-tailed deer, whose population is exploding in Staten Island and parts of the Bronx. How do we control them in a densely populated city? Here is a bird called a starling. Starlings are native to Europe and were brought to New York City in 1890 by a Shakespearean society looking to bring all the birds ever mentioned in Shakespeare's works to Central Park. These birds have now spread over much of the United States and Canada. To the left of the starling are baby ducklings, just hatched. These birds are what we call precocious. They can forage on their own. They don't have to be fed by their mother. They will stay with their mothers for quite some time. It's an Italian wall lizard. These are found in parklands and cemeteries in Long Island, Queens, and the Bronx. These lizards are harmless and have escaped from a fire in a pet shop in Garden City some years ago. Common gray squirrel. These are found commonly during the day. And finally, the ubiquitous raccoon. These are the nocturnal creatures that we often see. We will learn about Native Americans and why and when they came to this region. We will also learn how they were impacted by European settlers who came to the New World. When we think of New York City, we think of densely populated urban areas. But there is more to New York City than just tall buildings and busy streets. Nature abounds in all the boroughs, but we have to look for it. We also have to learn how our city impacts the planet. New York's nature is not only found in Central Park, but it can be found elsewhere. Throughout the city, I've learned to find nature just by looking for it. Believe it or not, between 15 and 20% of New York City is parkland. Much of this land is forever wild, means it is protected in its natural state forever. When you see this sign, you'll know that land is forever wild. If you look at this peaceful scenery, we'll see that it is an estuary or a wetland. This is a brackish water wetland, and these are some of the most productive environments on the planet. These wetlands were once considered wastelands and were filled in and altered. Approximately 90% of them were destroyed around New York City. However, today the remaining wetlands will be important in the fight against climate change and rising sea levels. They are also nurseries for many fish and other aquatic organisms. They are some of our most important landscapes. This giant tulip tree lives in New York City and is over 450 years old. It is the oldest living organism in New York City. The monarch butterfly is rapidly declining, mostly due to pesticides and car strikes. These amazing creatures that you see whimsically flying around are actually heading to a forest in Mexico over winter. They will fly approximately 3,000 miles on those fragile wings. It is truly an amazing migration by some amazing creatures. We will take a class trip at least to Pelham Bay Park and most likely Jamaica Bay National Wildlife Refuge. We will explore some of the local landscapes and we'll discuss the region and the different environments. If you learn anything in this class, this is the plant to watch out for. See you online and see you in the field.